Hey, welcome back guys. So in today's video, we are going to discuss about async await in JavaScript. We will understand how we can use async await in context with promises. Can we replace promises completely with async await, or which is more performant, async await or promises? So by the end of this video, you will have all the answers. Also, don't forget to subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss the videos like this one. So let's get started. Alright guys, so I already have two functions, user login and go to home page. Let me give you a walkthrough of these functions. So the user login function prompts for username and password, and once we add the username and the password, it returns a promise. And this promise contains a set timeout function which is executed after 1000 milliseconds, and the set timeout function actually checks for the username and the password. If they matches, the promise is resolved, and if it fails, the promise gets rejected. If you don't know about promises and how to interact with them, I have a video on it. You can click on the card above and jump to it directly. So the second function, which is the go to home page, accepts the user auth status. So once it gets the user auth status, it returns a promise which is always resolved with a message go to home page, and we add the user auth status. Now let's see how we can call this function and interact with the promises first, and then we are going to do the same thing using async await, and we will see the difference between the promises and using async await function. So what we are going to do, I'm going to call this function as user login, and we can call it using dot then. And when the promise is resolved, it's going to give me a response, and this response will be the user authenticated. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write a console.log here, and it will say validated user. And once the user is validated, we are going to call the other function, which is the go to home page, and we will pass the same response to go to home page. So this go to home page will also return a promise, so we can interact with the promise using chaining in promises. So I'm going to write a dot then, and this is going to have the response which is going to return. So I'm going to add here user auth status, and in order to get the response, we need to actually return this function. So let me return this here, and here we are just simply going to do a console dot log, and we are going to log the user auth status. All right, so now let's save it and let's see what happens. So if I save it, it's prompting me for the username. So I'm going to write the page as username, and I'm going to add the page as password. And if I hit enter, then it says that user enter username and password first, then performing user authentication, then validated user. And yes, the promise is resolved. So we are actually seeing that go to home page as user authenticated. So the user authentication is done, and that's why we are going to go to home page. But what if the authentication gets failed? So let me refresh this, and this time I'm going to add actually some other name, Manish, and I'm going to add the page. And if I hit enter, then it says that performing user authentication, but the authentication is failed. And we can actually handle this error using dot catch in promises. So I'm going to add dot catch here, and this is going to take an error. So I'm going to add an error here, and I'm going to add console.log error. All right. And this time if I write the page, then it's going to say that authentication failed, which is very correct. So there's nothing wrong with this approach. This is very good approach using promises, but you can actually write it in a more concise and more readable form. You don't need to write dot then again and again. So what we can do is we can switch to async await. Now let's see how we can write the same thing in async await in a very shorter syntax and in a very readable way. So I'm going to comment this out. So when you use async await, you actually need to wrap your async execution into a function. So you can use any function, a named function and function expression, or if you want, you can use a self-executing function. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write a function perform task, and we need to use async await. So we need to add a keyword here, async, And then what we will do, we are going to first call the user login. So I'm going to call the user login. And this user login function is actually going to return me some response based on the promise get resolved or rejected. So I'm going to capture this response in a constant. All right. And we are using async await. So we actually need to add an await keyword here so that we have to wait for this function get executed. And now once we get the response, what we are going to do, we are going to do a console.log, and this will say validated user. All right, and after that we are going to call our go to home page method. So for that I'm going to add go to home page, and it's going to take the response, and this is also going to return us a promise. So we need to add an await keyword here as well, and we are going to capture the response in a constant, and I'm going to add the user auth status is equals to await. All right, so now we have captured the response of go to home page. Now we are just going to do a console.log user auth status. All right, and now we just need to call this function. So I'm going to call the perform task, and let's see what happens. So I'm going to add the page. I'm going to add the page as password. And if I hit enter, then we can see that we are getting the same response which we are getting in the promises part. So we have the enter username, perform user authentication, user validated user, and go to homepage as user authenticated. So this syntax is much more concise and more readable as compared to the user login. So this is one of the advantage of using async await, that it adds a syntactic sugar which makes your code more concise and more readable. And what happens in case if you get an error? So if I enter wrong credentials, so in that case, it's going to give me an uncaught error, authentication failed. So we can actually handle the error in async await with a try catch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a try here, and then I'm going to do a catch, and we can add all our execution code in the try block. So I'm going to cut this from here, and I'm going to add this here. And in the catch, we can simply add an error. So if we have an error, we can do a console.log, and we can log the error. And now if I save it, and now let's see, I enter a wrong username and password, and we will be able to see the error. So that's how you can actually handle the errors in while using async await. But you have to be very careful while using the async await. You have to use the keywords properly. So if I create a function without using an async and I have an await, then it's going to return me an error. Or if I missed out an await and I simply use an async, function will still get executed. So I'm going to add the page. I'm going to add the page. The function will still get executed, but it is going to return me a promise. So you have to write the await in order to get the async await function properly. So I have to add an await here, and I have to add await here. All right. So that's how you use the async await, which are more better in terms of writing the syntax as compared to the promises. Now let's talk about the performance. Is async await a more performant, or a promises is more performant? And let me show you the example which we used in our promises video. So let me copy paste that example. So this is the example we used in our promises video. We have a function make API call which accepts a time, and then function returns a promise, and it contains a set timeout function which will be executed after the time which we passed in the function, and it's going to resolve the promise the API is executed after particular time. And then we have an array of API calls. So we make an API call at 1000 millisecond, 2000 millisecond, and 500 millisecond. And if we want to interact with all these promises at the same time, we use promise.all. And this is actually going to return all the promises based on the times. So the execution of all these API calls start simultaneously. So it's not that one is executing, then the another, then the another. But what if we want to change this into a async await? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just comment this out, and I'm going to use an anonymous self-executing function. So I'm going to write a function here All right, and this function will be self-executed. And inside the function, I'm going to do a for. Let's use a for of. So for of, I'm going to use a let request of API requests. And inside that, I'm simply going to do a console.log. I'm going to write await, and I'm going to execute this request. So I'm going to execute this request, and we need to return a function instead of returning a promise. So let's return a function from here. All right, and now if I save it, then you will see that the execution happens one after the another. So that's how the performance varies when you use promises and when you use async await. So when you use promise.all the API requests happen at the same time, and it got executed based on the. But in the case of an async await, it will wait for the execution of each API, and then it's going to execute the next API. So when you use async await, there are some drawbacks which you need to take care. So if you can have a proper mix match of promises and async await, then you can actually write a performant application. But just replacing promises with the async await throughout your project is not a good approach, as you will have a good readable code, but you are actually going to decrease the performance of your application. And JavaScript is all known about its performant and fast application and fast execution. So you need to be a little bit careful by using async await. You use it based on case by case, and that's all I have for this video. So I hope you understood the async await very well, when to use, when not to use, and how to use it in context with promises. So if you enjoyed the video, a thumbs up is appreciated. You can connect with me via Facebook or Instagram. I'm going to add the link in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss the videos like this one. Thank you. Thanks for watching.